Okay. Um, hey guys, if anyone is watching this, I thought I'd make a quick little video. When I say quick, I don't know how quick this is gonna be, but just a short little video explaining um, my brand and my logo that I created. I think I mentioned it in one of my previous videos, but I didn't really elaborate. So I thought I'd do that now. What I'm actually going to try and do with this video that I haven't done with my previous videos is to edit and actually, ugh, I need to stop doing that. It's because I run out of breath when I'm saying this stuff, so I always have to do that for some reason. But yeah, I'm gonna edit this to demonstrate my brand, where it started, where it is, and then how it evolved and developed over time. And what I'm going to try and do is sort of break down the reasons for all the various iterations of the logo, because it's actually quite vast. I was looking through my phone earlier and I've got so many variations of the logo. Not that anyone asked for this, I just thought it would be something cool to make, and maybe I can look back on this and be like, oh wow. So yeah, I'm gonna make this quick little video demonstrating my logo and where it started. I wish I had the original garment of where it started, but I don't think I've got that anymore, which is fine. But I'm gonna showcase all the different logos, all the different garments and stuff I've still got. And yeah, we're gonna go from there. One of my current pieces that I have, that I own, that I wear, is actually featured in one of the thumbnails of my Etsy failures videos on this channel, if any of you care to see that. But yeah, I'm gonna start very soon. I just thought I'd make a quick little explanation here, and then I think the rest of it is going to be like voiceover. That will make it a little bit easier to edit, and I can just talk about it as it goes. And yeah, so stay tuned. If anyone sees this and is like an aspiring musician as well, I just thought I'd put this out there now. I plan on creating, sharing my art through their music. So what I was thinking was, if anyone wants me to design a logo or or some album covers for their music, or anything like that, any artwork for their music, obviously you can put it in the comments or just reach out to me in whichever way you can, and I can create some artwork for anyone who cares for such a thing. It was actually something I tried to do ages ago, similar when I was back in school, which was ages ago. And then my sister recently reminded me. She was like, you should try creating some artwork for albums and music artists and stuff. I was like, yeah, I mean, I did try that, but you know, I'll try again. So if anyone cares for that, and if anyone sees this, obviously reach out to me and hopefully we can collaborate. Yeah, that's about it. The rest of this video is just going to be me talking about my evolution. So yeah, and if anyone cares for any free wallpapers, again, check out my Pinterest. The link should be in the in this channel's bio or on this video, or you can check out my Patreon as well, which should be in the channel bio as well, if anyone cares for such a thing. If anyone cares. Okay, so the original concept was this image here of a panda, and I called the brand Lotus Red. It evolved to Lotus Red 7, and I was playing around with different colors and variations of it. And then eventually it evolved into this version here with the gears around it and the vines. I thought this looked quite cool. And then it evolved into another version with a little number that was going to be a staple on the forehead of the brand. And then I played around with other logos to see how they would come out. But what was funny was someone pointed out that the eyes do look like egg yolks. Obviously, with the other color variations, they don't look like that, but they do look like egg yolks. So that's that. And then there's this Lunaticians one, which I made from another drawing ages ago. Yeah, so I was just playing with all of this. And obviously, I was very interested in fashion. That was the main idea behind creating all of these. So I had a lot of drawings like this, like sketches where with a front design and a back design, and a lot of variations of this one with the side as well. Because I was inspired by a lot of anime and a lot of video games. Yeah, a lot of these were made with the thought of as concepts that I would go ahead and make into real life products in the future. Like that's why I just kept drawing and making these. Like the main highlight of this one was meant to be the jackets. I've got like obviously specific close-up versions of those jackets of these two models here, because I was inspired by a lot of Final Fantasy characters and Final Fantasy designs. I love the designs in a lot of the Final Fantasy games, especially in the later iterations of the games. Of variations in regards to my logos and designs. Obviously, I ended up picking a specific logo, the one that I kind of showed before. I'll put it over here. Which, because obviously the logo, the brand itself is called New Age Lotus, right? Or at least it was at one point. It's still called that now, but I might just rebrand it and change it. But it's called New Age Lotus. That was what I eventually transitioned to. Obviously, I didn't think it was necessary to show all the various logos I've got. I've got quite a lot of them, and a lot of them were just experimental. But the logo itself became the Lotus, right? So the Lotus in its basic form is this right here, right? That is the logo in its most basic and staple form. And on each of the left sleeves of all of my garments was this staple here, which is 113 in Roman numerals. But this also doubles as collection with a C, 13, because this was like the 13th sort of iteration of the logo, or at least that's how I like to describe it. This is actually one of my later pieces. Obviously, this is just a basic white t-shirt with my Devil's Paradise image on it. I like this one quite a lot, but you know, very simple design here. What I'll try and do is I'll put the like original sketch somewhere in the video here to sort of demonstrate where it came from for each of these various designs. This one, a bit wrinkled now, but this is Afro Luffy. I also do have like a I also do have a black and white version of this, somewhere. I'll post that as well somewhere. But there's the logo in like a earthy green tone there. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I just thought I'd do a quick breakdown because I actually created a lot of various designs, and what I might do is I'll put up the mock-ups that I put on my Etsy shop and on my Shopify store as well when I had that for a little bit. I'll put all the, like, some of the mock-ups to show you guys, and I'll put the images as well somewhere in the video here. I feel like this is going to be quite a long video overall, so. And then this one was called Elegant Savage. I'll show you the original version of this one as well. Again, they always, this one actually got made by a company called Banana Moon. This one actually got made by a company called Banana Moon, which is an English based company here. I don't know where they're located here in England, but at one point I was experimenting with just the individual garments themselves for my own personal use, and obviously there's the staple there. Yeah, Banana Moon, shout out to them. They have created a lot of great variations of, like, great garments for me personally. Like, they've got really high quality work there. I'll try and put a link, or remember to put it, hopefully I'll remember to put a link in the description there. This one, it's funny because I made this one when I was, like, I forgot, when I was still in, like, Cambridge. A lot of the stuff was made in Cambridge because I haven't been where I am now that long. But this one was part of my, I'll put some of the variations of this logo here on the screen as well. This one was part of my sort of duality series, because I made this color, right, with the green, with the half black and half yellow side, and then I made lots of variations of that, like with the red, like the green part is red. We've got a blue version, we've got like a magenta version, loads of versions. I might show some of them. And then obviously we've got the C13 right there, or the 113. So as you can see with a lot of my designs, they're kind of inspired a little bit by a lot by sort of steampunk aesthetics. Like the logo itself has got like a steampunk aesthetic. So because I love the steampunk look, even though, like, I think I did it subconsciously, because I like the idea of mixing the old with the new, or the old with the future. So you'll see in a little bit as well why. So this is another version of the logo. This one I called it Mint Schematics, and this was also made by Banana Moon. They are great with their stuff. Like, it's all high quality stuff. I got these made ages ago. Like, at this point, it's getting holes in it now because I've washed it so many times and worn them so many times. Obviously, there's the staple there. And then one thing I can honestly say is that I'm like, with my brand, the main key features, should I say, were back pieces, right? So obviously we've got the same design on the front as on the back here, but on the back it's way bigger. Like I sent the instructions to Banana Moon to make it as big as possible, because I don't know if I've always been like this, but as I've started creating these garments, I really got obsessed with back pieces. Like, back pieces are like the staple of my brand, essentially. And I'll show you this one again. This one does have a back piece as well. All of them have back pieces, but this one is like more blended because I made this at a time when I was experimenting with what works, you know, because most brands don't do two different versions of the logo on their garments. It's like one version on the front and on the back, or one version just on the back or on the front. So yeah, I've always enjoyed experimenting. So this one was a mint polo that I made a while ago. I was always trying to experiment with colors, like what logo works on what sort of brand. I mean, what logo works with, I'm just saying the word brand a lot. What logo works with what color garments. Again, it's got a gold logo on the front here. It's got this little insignia on the right side, and then the classic C13 in gold on the left here, and then a completely different logo on the back here. I mean, obviously same logo, but a completely different color scheme on the back, because I just wanted to see how that would look. And at the same time, I did it as like an economic choice, right? Because I didn't have the money to have one logo on one garment, you know, if you know what I mean. Like, so this was an opportunity to experiment and see what works, you know, because even with the Elegant Savage that I just showed a few moments ago, right, we've got this logo of the ladies on the front with the sort of almost duality in the middle here, because you can see like one side is slightly brighter than the other, but on the back there's no duality. It's just the standard logo. Even though this one was kind of, it did come from the duality because it's got these two, but obviously whenever you make things, sometimes they don't translate the same way on the canvas. Again, like I said, I will put up some of the variations on the video, like in the digital form, so it's a little bit clearer, because I know a lot of these are quite wrinkled and it might not be as clear, maybe because of the lighting in here. But this, again, another very steampunk edition. This one was a good experiment because it showed me that if you're going to do roses, they need to be a bit bigger, right? Because from far away, can't really see the roses at all. So it would have made sense to just have the logo itself without the roses on the front here, and then on the back was a much bigger version. Again, this was made by Banana Moon, and yeah, this one I called it Steampunk Red, right? Because obviously it's got a very steampunk aesthetic here, and then we've got the red roses. I had many versions of this as well. That's why I called it Steampunk Red, because obviously we had blue versions, a pink version. And yeah, if you can see, it's got obviously the gears of time here, and then it's got like some cityscapes here and there. And then obviously it's got a variation of the C13 there, and as always on the left sleeve there. The C13 was like one of the sort of main features of these garments here. Okay, this one. This one, well, this one I made a long time ago, right? is it's literally an angel sitting with a cello playing it. I call it the Sound of Oblivion because in here, well, you can kind of see that there actually. Looks a bit more sinister there. But there's a skull here, and there was meant to be like a halo going around the cello. I mean, obviously this one now looks very retro. It looks very old because of all the washes. This one I think was made by a different company from Banana Moon because some of the aspects have started to fade and degrade quite a bit. Like that's falling out completely. It's cool though because I like the sort of retro aesthetic anyway. But I do need to peel some of these away. And then obviously I put like a small logo on the back here. This actually was made for this girl that I met when I was working at Amazon a few years ago when I was working in one of the warehouses at Amazon. So shout out to Chloe if she ever sees this. Yeah, made that for her. Then again, I mean, if anyone ever sees this and it reaches some people, let me know the ones that stood out to you and the ones that you liked the most, and I might make like a separate video for that type of for those specific ones, right? Again, this one is from the sort of steampunk era, steampunk connection, I guess. This one was like a hoodie I made with some sheepskin lining here. This one is actually very, very good. Like in terms of like keeping you warm and stuff. That's why this one was actually a bit more expensive. This one was also made by Banana Moon. And obviously on the left sleeve there. This one, the reason why I like this one is because it almost looks like it's glowing, right? So that was the whole point of a lot of these aesthetics. As you can see, a lot of this stuff is inspired by anime. I mean, well, it looks like anime clothing, you know, with the crazy outlandish graphics and stuff. And with the sort of, yeah, it's another logo on the right there. I'll put like a clearer digital version of it on the screen, possibly. Obviously, take everything with a grain of salt that I'm saying, because sometimes, due to time constraints and whatever else I'm doing, I may not get a chance to do everything that I say I'm going to do on these videos. And then we've got my classic Jester here. I might remake this video at some point, but for now this is how it's going to be. This is the raw version of it. I'm very proud of this one. I love this one, especially on the light blue jumper that I've got here. I don't have any light blue jumpers, so to have created something like this is sweet. And then of course it's got the logo on the back here, the schematics and everything. Yeah, so the logo he's got behind him here is the same one we've got here. Same one we've got here. I love this one. I mean, this one, pretty straightforward. I was going to go through my book series. I'm still doing that as of the time I'm making this video. Explaining all the different artworks. I'll put the like raw original version of it up here somewhere. But yeah, that's my Jester Zero there. There's no particular order. I was going to try and do these in order of the time I created them and what period of my life I was in when I made them, but that's not really necessary or relevant. So I'm just going to showcase the variations that I have here. because I've got loads of them. So this one I made when I was at Amazon as well. I made James, my friend James, his own version of this, because I was just experimenting again. So shout out to James if you ever see this. Of course, this one has got this little logo on the right here. I don't know which company made this. I don't know if it was Banana Moon again. I think it was, but because of the type of garment, or yeah, because of the type of garment this is, the graphic started to fall apart quite badly. And this one doesn't even look retro. It just looks bad, to be honest. Yeah, it just looks really bad. That's why I did stop wearing this for a bit, but I might start again. Because, you know, it doesn't matter, you know. I forgot what I called this one. I think I called this one Fenrir, like the wolf in Final Fantasy. Yeah, Final Fantasy 7 or something. Simply because the original idea of that one was I did a drawing of a wolf. I was gonna put a wolf's face, like dead center of it, and then the logo was gonna be behind the wolf, but it looked very messy. It looked like there was too much going on, and it didn't look that good. So I ended up scrapping that idea and just having the logo. And then this one, I called this one. No, I don't call it that. I was going to say I call it Utopian Madness. That's not true because I have a version of this with the skulls and everything that I called Utopian Madness. This one, I think I just called it Toxic City or something. The reason why is because if you look closely, it's got the New York skyline in there. And obviously it's like a toxic green sort of looks to it. We've got the toxic green arm here. And then we've got this version on the back. To be honest, this was another experimental one. I wasn't 100% happy with how this came out, to be honest. Because the logo and how everything sort of translated onto the canvas was a little bit off, you know? Like, for some reason, the front here has got like a plastic or like a vinyl finish, whereas on the back here, they managed to have it just on, like they got it print screened or something, you know? So, and overall the colors are just a bit off on this one, I can't lie. That's the thing about experiments, like sometimes they work and sometimes they fail. And sometimes they fail really badly, so that's just something to keep in mind. Experiments sometimes don't work, obviously, that's just part of it. Okay, we go around. Okay, so this is sort of my jacket variations or jacket collection, I guess. Couldn't think of anything to say there. But we'll start it off with my futuristic, like this one here is another sort of stained glass looking version. As you can see, it's a white gilet with the logo on the front and on the back here. I actually love this, but it's very anime-esque. What else can I say about this? Like if I ever owned a company like Apple or like a company that does tech, this would be the aesthetic this is what all the employees would wear, basically. This would be part of the uniform. That was the idea behind that. Oh shit, what the fuck happened here? Okay. So, come on, go away, get off. This was one of my original pieces that I got made by Banana Moon. Somehow, I haven't worn this for a while, but somehow it's received some damage that has scraped off some of the artwork, but I'll make it easy here. Obviously, we've got the text on the sleeve there, the numbers, should I say, and then front logo with no skulls or anything around it, and then back logo with the skull drawing that I did ages ago, and then the world emerging from a flower. This one was very good. This one, I love this piece actually. It's obviously a bit worn out now, but this was one of my first ones from Banana Moon, so again, thank you to Banana Moon for doing a great job there. And then this is like an upgraded version of that, right? So obviously we've got the logo there with with two skulls. It's literally the same skull from those roses there, but I just removed the rose and just had the skull because, you know, some people find roses very feminine. To me, they're not feminine as well, not at all, but like they're not just feminine, you know. Like guys can wear roses, you know what I mean? People get tattoos of roses all the time and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously we've got the skulls there with the schematics. So again, another sort of theme of duality, right? With the sort of natural life as well as the technological advancements. That's the idea behind the lotus, essentially. It's like nature and technology. Those are like the two main themes that I try to have coexisting. Okay, before we do this one, which is kind of the last one I've got, I think I do have a few more, but you know, we don't want to spend forever doing this. Again, this one, I called this one Peach Roses. I actually love this one as well, but as you can see, it is worn out completely. Well, not completely, but quite a lot, you know. These obviously roses here, out on there, and this one at the bottom, they were the peach roses. That's why I call it peach roses. Obviously the right arm, the left arm aesthetic here, still intact pretty well actually, through all the washes. And then on the front, I guess because this one is much smaller, it has stood the test a bit better than the back, but the roses are a little bit clearer on here. Even though, again, like if you're gonna have a logo that small, you shouldn't have something as intricate as roses on there, because obviously you're not gonna see it at all. Just like this one here, right? On the front here, I decided not to have the skulls, but on the back, they're there, right? They're not even that big, to be honest, but which is probably why I chose to just have that on the front, right? Like, what I try and do is I try and learn from every sort of iteration and every version that I make into a garment. I try and see what worked and what didn't. That's partly why I made so many of these, to see what works on what garment and what colors. And then this right here, let me just zip it up. Like, I can't say I have a favorite, a complete favorite out of all these, or a magnum opus, so to speak. Like, there isn't one of these that I've made that is the absolute best or my favorite. I kind of like all of them in their own ways equally, right? Some I do wear more than others, of course. That's just my aesthetic. But this one is a grey, like fleece. It's a dark grey, like light fleece. It's not very heavy. It's not that warm, but we've got the logo there, similar to the Jester one. But this version is obviously a bit more colorful, or like the colors are kind of saturated a little bit more as well. I call this one Prominence because of these roses here. Like on there, I don't know how they are translating, but the roses are like a sort of peachy red color. That's why I call it Prominence, because everything else is meant to be sort of muted in color and saturation. Like the logo itself, it's kind of more neutral in colors. Even the schematics, they're not like that in your face, but the roses really do pop on this one. This is one of my favorite pieces here, even though I don't wear it that often. Yeah, that's most of the garments, or the versions of the garments I own. I've also got a bag here. Hold on, let me just... unfortunately, I can't find the bag. I might have got rid of it, but the bag had another version of the Lotus. It had the 4-season Lotus that I titled. The 4-season Lotus is basically one of these versions, but with 4 roses around the outside. I'll put a picture of it here. But luckily, I was looking for this last night. I couldn't find it. I'd forgotten where it was. But this right here was kind of where it all began, right? So this was Lotus Red. This was like my original first sort of piece that I made using this logo that I'd mentioned before in the video. This wasn't actually, like, basically the garment itself, I bought it from like H&M or something. It was just pure white by itself. This was when I was like 16, 17, right? And then because I was always experimenting on my Photoshop, on Photoshop, just sort of messing around with different logos and stuff, I was really, really happy with how this looked. And then I took it to like one of these screen printing shops. And then I was like, can you put this logo on this garment, right? So this garment wasn't made by me or anyone. By any specific group that does that. It was made by like a company. And then I just added this to the garment. I really should start scripting these things, but it's more natural and organic this way. And I don't like scripting stuff because it's just effort in it. But yeah, that's it for now. Again, if anyone sees this, please comment and let me know. Put like a stamp on the timeline of which garment you liked the look of the most, or whatever, you know. And yeah, let me know. But yeah, that's it.